group targeting will really depend on how you have successfully done your segmentation, because the attributes that come from each group segment will help you know how do you target them. For example, when you look at 1 John chapter 2 verse 12, it gives an example of a very nice segmentation there. The scripture says, "I'm writing to you little children because your sins are forgiven for his sake. I'm writing to you fathers because you know him who is from the beginning. I'm writing to you young men because you are strong and you have overcome the evil one." So each segment has an attribute that will help you be able to know this attribute has the following needs, and I'll be able to meet them in this way. You know, I said earlier that segmentation should be done to suit your congregation. Congregations are different. So look at the uniqueness of your congregation. Okay? So therefore, once you have segmented your congregation, the target group you look at the strengths of that group, the needs of that group, and you come up with ways of meeting that group. Let me use an example of segments that can be developed that requires targeting. I will use an example. Assume age was the idea behind your segment, and you came up with something like toddlers, babies, children, the youth, young adults, middle age, and elderly. In understanding their needs, you may say, for example, toddlers want to sleep, breastfeed, they play, they cry, children are playful, and they may leave a meeting more often. Youth are energetic, they want to dance more, they want to, loud music, they cannot sit in a meeting for long, You may say, for example, young adults, they are concerned with making life choices, jobs, careers, partners, Some of them actually are orphans, etc. The middle age are experiencing a sense of belonging, setting up families, bringing up children, and this is the group that is highly inquisitive. They will question your sermons, they will question whatever you do. They are highly inquisitive. So don't get them wrong. They're just trying to see, are we making the right choices? So they are very cautious, and their curiosity is very high. How do you meet their needs? They become very cautious. And in most cases, they may argue. This group, they will argue a lot as they seek for details. For the elderly, maybe they are losing their hearing. They can't see far, eyes. Some of them are so lonely, they have lost their loved ones. Some are widows, some are widowers. They have a sense of loneliness, or some of them have what we normally call as emptiness. So they only find comfort in church where they know they'll get many people. So you can see that each segment has come with its own unique needs. You might find in church there are people who are, maybe you are using social class. There are people who come and they don't have meal at the table. They have not eaten. Others have excess until they throw leftovers. Their fridges are full of rotting foods. And here others, they have nothing. So once you have gotten the attributes of each segment and you are targeting them, now you come up with a position. How do you meet the needs of that target? So this takes us to the third aspect of individually positioning. The various target groups will give you a clear picture of what the needs are. A friend of mine always used to say, Job, you need people. It doesn't matter how much you may accumulate in this world. You will still need people to at least even bury you when you are dead. In other words, we need each other. My failing might be your strength. My strength might be your failing. But when we come together and help each other, we grow together. We bring synergy. Synergy is developed and we grow together. Every member of the church is somebody, including the ministers. They too have needs that need to be met. The question therefore is, how do we meet these needs? Positioning therefore requires you to come up with ways that are specific to that target group. Okay? Specific to that target group. For example, for toddlers who cry and want to breastfeed, it may be required of you as a minister to provide a room where the mothers will go and breastfeed their young ones. And in that room, make it comfortable. Let have a bed or beddings, so that once the babies sleep, they can be put on those beds to rest. But also ensure that the room has maybe public address system at low volumes, so that the parents or the mothers are in constant fellowshipping with the others in church. Maybe some people come to church, they don't have Bibles. I know we use LCD projectors and everything, but sometimes it might be good to say, why don't we procure Bibles, hymn books, and let them be on the benches, so that when the people are able to follow the preachings as they go on. What about the elderly, for example? The elderly, because of age, they don't have enough strength. You might want to ensure that the parking of the elderly is reserved just near the church, so that they park their cars and they access the church as quick as possible. Ensure they sit in front because their eyes are failing them. Their ears are failing them. They want to sit next to the speakers. Ensure that their seats are comfortable. Okay? And once they go out, they are well taken care of. Allow them, in terms of even exit and entry of church. When you are exiting church, allow the elderly to go out first, because they might not stand in long queues waiting to be cleared. You might target a group that is very needy in church. Mobilize resources and feed those who can't afford. There are many people in church who don't have meals. They are suffering from basic needs: housing, rent, clothing, and etc. Food. You can mobilize resources to say, we want to help address some of the needs of the people have in this church. Some can't afford medical attention. You might mobilize some of the doctors in your church to say, offer free medical service once in a while to these people, and many others. In other words, the various groups will help you position yourself as a minister, and you will come up with various ways to meet their specific needs. A mourning person requires comfort. A groom in the wedding requires happiness. A prisoner requires to be visited. A sick person requires treatment and prayer. In other words, meeting the specific needs. In conclusion, ensure you segment your church, target these specific groups, and position yourself by meeting their specific needs. With this, we will grow holistically as a church, just like the early church in the book of Acts, where there was no one who was in need, because people came together, they sold their possessions, they brought at the apostles' feet, and anyone who was in need, he was supported. Therefore, this model can be summarized in these 3 letters: S, T, P. Segment. Then out of the various segments, target the specific groups and position yourself to those groups. May the Lord bless you. See you again in the next episode as we look at another important issue to help us grow in the Church of Christ. This is Inward Ministries, which has been brought to you by Joab Logimere Kasasi. God bless you.